This particular album, Nebraska, was very inspirational to me. It's in sepia.
Each song in Nebraska is a snapshot, a different facet of an overall story. Just his depth of understanding of what it means to be alive in this world. You can identify with every song.
There's been a number of times in my career that I thought about what he has done and what would he do. He's always the musical north for me.
At the time that he did Nebraska, it was taking a chance because he was really about the hottest thing around.
For an artist like myself, Bruce opened the door for a lot of people to take risks and do things that felt more organic or raw or stripped back.
I always felt this certain bond with Bruce. He writes songs about the forgotten ones.
30 plus years later, the album still feels contemporary.
Being a part of the night in general makes us feel really lucky because you can't believe we're on the same bill as some of these people that you just love and respect.
My favorite thing about music and writing is being transported somewhere, and this record certainly does that.
Nebraska was the perfect album at the perfect time, and that's why we're all sitting here doing what we're doing.
Hi, I'm Pat Heaphy, the director of Nebraska, a celebration of words and music. When I got the call for this project, I'm super excited. Nebraska is such an iconic album. It's inspired generations of singer-songwriters. Bruce, he's able to really present in this words and music, this imagery that you feel. It's visceral. A lot of projects come your way and you don't really understand, maybe the significance of them. One project for me was when I had the opportunity to direct the interview with Tupac Shakur when he was in Dannemora prison. I walked out of Dannemora and didn't really appreciate what had just occurred. And it took me around 10, 15 years to realize that. When I heard about this project, I was like, wow, this is amazing. At the time, Emmylou Harris had committed
From the old town of Lincoln, Nebraska, with a sort of fortune on my lap.
Lucinda Williams,
Born in the USA, born in the USA.
Lyle Lovett,
My father's house shines hard and bright.
the Lumineers,
Mr. State Trooper, please don't stop me.
Noah Kahan,
Everything dies, baby, that's a fact. Maybe everything that dies someday comes back.
and then there was whispers of Eric Church.
You can't start a fire. You can't start a fire without a spark. This gun's for hire, even if we're just dancing in the dark.
Honestly, it's when you look at a project like that, you wonder if you're up to the task, where you're doing a live show in front of a live audience during Americana Fest. We were bouncing back and forth between music, spoken word the entire time. So what we had to do was figure out how we were going to do these changeovers. We'd worked in the analog at the Hutton Hotel many times, know the space. We actually measured out our studio to be representative of it so we can block it out. We're going to black out the stage. You're going to exit. You can just hang out here in the wings for a minute. Warren's going to come up for maybe 10, 30 seconds and kind of close the show. From a labor standpoint, we're used to single act or maybe 2-act shows where the changeovers don't require that much more. And this one was crazy. To see that these performers were so eager to be able to perform songs that Bruce had written for this album, Nebraska, was inspiring.
It's a privilege to play these great songs by Springsteen. I first listened to Nebraska when it first came out. I was excited that Bruce Springsteen would do an album, with that sort of sparse instrumentation.
Now, Mr. Good Day, my number comes in. I ain't ever gonna ride, no use to call again.
Initially, my goal was to try to do the interviews with our artist at another time. However, trying to track everybody down and follow them was going to be a challenge in itself. So we said, we're here, they're here, let's do it now. The first one being Emmylou Harris.
As an artist, you know when something works. You know when something has the magic. And I guess when he listened to those demos, he knew that that was what the record should be.
To hear the stories that this Grammy Award-winning icon was sharing with us was amazing. And to learn how Bruce Springsteen inspired her.
Me and my sister, we'd hide out in the tall cornfield, sit and listen to the mansion on the hill.
To be able to play this patron saint of New Jersey's a tribute to him in Nebraska was like, it felt fitting because we love his music and we wear the badge of honor being from Jersey.
To have the Lumineers, sitting outside with me, outside the Hutton, when we got people walking into the venue and them sharing their story of what Bruce Springsteen meant to them as a fellow, New Jerseyan, was realizing how far Bruce really has reached intergenerationally.
The whole album just kind of talking about these, at times, broken blue-collared workers, sort of revealing that underbelly of America at that time, and even still currently, 30 plus years later, the album still feels contemporary.
I made an album of covers for my dad when I was 16, so that was 1999. So, what is that, 24 years ago? So it was written in the stars. We gotta be here.
Everything dies, baby, that's a fact.
And then we had this guy that nobody really knew about, Noah Kahan, and to see the trajectory of his career just take off the way it did. A couple weeks later, he was on SNL, and the world now knew who Noah Kahan was.
The song is incredible. I've been hearing it my entire life. It tells a really brilliant story, and I think on the surface it's an incredibly catchy melody, and listening to the lyrics you kind of are brought to this instance in this place.
And then we move on to Lucinda Williams.
Born down in a dead man's town. The first kick I took was when I hit the ground.
We're talking about legends.
Too much till you spend half of your life just covering up. Born in the USA, I couldn't believe I was picked to do that song. It just blew my mind. It's such an honor to even be chosen, to attempt my own version of it, and I wanted to do it justice, of course. It's a brilliant song. It's been misunderstood by people who don't understand and they don't get the irony in it. To go and kill the yellow man, born in the USA.
These messages aren't just throwaway bullshit just because it rhymes or something. They're communicating a message and sharing a feeling and connecting with an audience, listeners, that says, you know what? I get it. I feel this way too.
I get up in the evening, but I ain't got nothing to say.
I chose Dancing in the Dark because it's a really dark hit. It's got some, lyrically, some real depth to it. I wanted to try to do it in the Nebraska vein.
Hey baby, I'm just starving tonight. I'm dying for some action.
The show had wrapped, and I walk out, and sure enough, Eric's there. It's like, Chief, let's go. And he really hit the nail on the head when he called, Bruce Springsteen, the original Americana. Well, you'll know what I'll let him say it for you.
If you look at the spirit of what Bruce was, that was the original Americana, motherfucker.
You can't start a fire.
What's really cool about this show is that it brought together so many different artists from different generations, and they all coalesced around this determined songwriter Bruce is just one of those guys that's made his mark on music and what it is to be an American. And I hope you enjoy the show as much as we enjoyed creating it.
You can't start a fire. Can't start a fire without a spark. These guns will hire, even if we're just dancing in the dark.